Think innovation is dead in the smartphone market? Think again. The new Find X9 and X9 Pro from OPPO are packed with new tech that you can't even get in the latest iPhones and Androids, and the cameras are so good that they somehow outperform the new iPhone 17 Pro Max. So OPPO partnered up with us on this video to show you guys all of their new features and how they stack up against the iPhone's cameras. So let's get started. First up, the design and build quality of both of these Find X9 phones is very impressive, and I'm really digging this new camera bump design on the back, which looks like a real pro camera setup, and it's definitely unique compared to other smartphones out there. And let me tell you guys, we've been testing OPPO phones for the last few years and comparing them to various mainstream phones, and every single time we are impressed by the camera capabilities and how they're advancing with high-end tech and detail. Now moving over to the front, these bezels look insanely thin. They're actually only 1.15 millimeters, which means both of these actually have thinner bezels than what you get on the latest iPhone 17 series. This is actually insane. Now the display panels themselves also look very beautiful and vibrant, both featuring the same display specs like 120Hz refresh rate, ultra low 1 nit minimum brightness, and all the way up to 3600 nits peak brightness, which you cannot get on an iPhone since the new iPhone 17 Pro Max peaks at 3000, which isn't too far off, but it's impressive that the new Find X9s can get even brighter. And then in terms of the display size, the regular Find X9 gets a 6.59-inch display, while the X9 Pro gets 6.78. So they're really not that far off in terms of size, and they both look great. But what surprised me the most was the battery capacity, which is absolutely insane, massive on both of these, thanks to both of them using silicon carbon technology. I mean, the regular Find X9 comes with a 7,025 milliamp hour battery, which is huge. I'm used to only seeing 5,000, which the iPhone 17 Pro Max finally hit, but over 7,000 is crazy, and the Find X9 Pro now gets 7,500, which is the largest battery ever in a Find X device, being almost double the capacity of the iPhone 17. Now the chip and performance aspect is also really impressive, but before I jump into that, I've got to talk about the cameras, since that's where these two Find X9 phones really excel. First up, the regular Find X9 comes with a triple 50 megapixel camera setup on the back, giving you just enough resolution for ultra sharp photos, but the Find X9 Pro upgrades the main camera with an ultra level 50 megapixel sensor, capturing its full 50 megapixels with good lighting and 25 or 12 megapixels in low light to boost image quality. They can really only achieve this because the sensor is so large, so they don't have to use pixel binning to get in more light like other smartphones like the iPhone have to do. But the biggest standout feature is the 200 megapixel Hasselblad telephoto camera, giving you incredible detail in daylight, sharp low light performance, and creative close-ups with macro mode. Now this telephoto is just crazy because usually you don't get 200 megapixel on the telephoto, you really only see it on the main, and honestly, the telephoto is what matters the most for more megapixels because you can crop in even further. Sort of like how Apple's new 8x optical quality camera is really just a 4x optical lens, but they're cropping in twice now that they have a 48 megapixel sensor, so they can crop in 2x and get 12 megapixel photos. But OPPO is taking that to the next level with a crazy 200 megapixel sensor combined with their 3x telephoto lens, so you can essentially crop in even further and get crazy detailed images. Now OPPO is also rolling out this brand new Hasselblad teleconverter accessory, which is essentially a super long zoom lens you can actually attach on the back using this case that comes with it, giving you 3.28x magnification for a total of 10x true optical range. and the camera quality looks absolutely incredible, so it's perfect for things like sports games or concerts. So with that said, let's go ahead and compare the cameras on the Find X9 Pro to the iPhone 17 Pro Max and see how they look. So right here in front of me, I have the iPhone on the left, the OPPO Find X9 Pro on the right, and comparing the 1x lenses on both. They both look very similar. You can see this is a 50 megapixel photo, both nice and sharp. Now jumping to a 3x optical lens photo, you could see there is quite a lot more background separation on the OPPO since it's using that 3x optical compared to the 1x cropped into 3. A lot more detail. You can see all these little fibers on the OPPO standing out. That is a really nice and sharp lens. Now we have a 6x. You can see right here, we're using the 4x optical on the iPhone up to 6, then 6x on the OPPO. And looking really closely, you could actually see, especially if you zoom in, they are really nice and close. I see a lot more detail right here on the OPPO, like especially his hand, the hair, all of this is more detailed on the OPPO. Very, very impressive. Right here we have once again another 6x. Looking side by side, you can see how the iPhone looks just a little bit kind of gray and washed out, whereas you can see a lot more contrast and detail, sharpness on the OPPO. Let's zoom into this trash can. You can see how you can see a lot more details right here, everywhere, leaves all over. Now this right here is going all the way up to 15x. Look at that difference in detail and sharpness. Everything looks a lot nicer. Everything stands out. Like the iPhone looks quite a bit washed out. Honestly, there's a huge difference here. And then here we have all the way up to 20x. Holy smokes, guys. Look at the difference in quality, especially up here. You could see all of this nice green, the leaves, the detail and the text everywhere. The iPhone just looks really, really washed out and just kind of soft. And then finally, another 20x. This is just crazy. Look how soft, noisy, how gray the iPhone is, just all washed out. Here, all the text is much easier to read. Everything's nice and sharp. It really pops. Now moving on to performance, both of these feature the brand new MediaTek Dimensity 9500, which is a 3nm chip, and it's also incredibly fast, scoring over 3,000 points in Geekbench 6 single core, which is honestly really good, even faster than the Galaxy S25 Ultra. And as far as multi-core, we have basically 10,000 points, which is also very impressive, faster than what most people need these days. And it scores so well thanks to it also getting a vapor chamber cooling system to keep the temps cool, which is extremely helpful, especially doing things like gaming. Now, as far as RAM, you get either 12 or 16 gigabytes, which is actually more than what you get on the latest S25 Ultra and iPhone 17 Pro Max, so that is great. And in terms of how it feels while you're using it, it's incredibly snappy. At no moment do you feel like it's lagging behind or unresponsive. They've really done a really great job with optimizing ColorOS and making it feel great to use all the time. And honestly, ColorOS is the closest thing that I've used compared to Apple's iOS, so it feels very familiar and easy to get used to. It's really easy to customize to your liking. It's definitely more customizable than iOS, and it honestly has much more useful features when it comes to AI, especially for AI photo editing and so much more. So bravo, OPPO. They've now given us a really nice true flagship phone in terms of the hardware and the design, especially those camera bumps on the back that look great, and they've combined it with very familiar and easy to use software packed in with more AI than Apple currently offers. The battery life is also pretty impressive thanks to that massive size using silicon carbon, so it feels like a true flagship all around, especially with the camera performance, which is right up there with the rest of the flagships, and it just gets so amazing when you add that Hasselblad telephoto camera, giving you true 10x optical zoom, which is just insane. So great work, OPPO, on these two new flagship phones, the Find X9 and Find X9 Pro. And if you enjoyed this video, comment your thoughts down below and subscribe for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.